Hey guys, it's Soncerae here, the God Queen. I appreciate you listening to me on Spreaker as well as watching me on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Tap that notification bell so you can be a part of the notification squad, okay? If you'd like to donate, please do. Go to Soncerae.com and click on the donate tab. I also have my baby registries up. I have an Amazon one and a Target one. If you want to check those out, Baby Justice is due May 15th, 2018. And I'm very excited. And a lot of people know that my child's father was not excited. Initially, he was happy, but then with time, he got weak. And yesterday I did a video. I was talking about how social media or YouTube or whatever can affect the relationships of some people if they are weak-minded individuals or they're not intellectual or whatever the case may be. A lot of people just don't think independently. They don't have their own minds, and the more I was, dating Priest, the more I realized that he was like sheeple. He likes to follow other people. He likes to do what other people do. He doesn't, have his own mind. He doesn't do, what he wants to do. And he doesn't think critically. He likes to, he's a follower. And so I made a video yesterday about our relationship and how honest I was with him about me making YouTube videos. And, there's nothing wrong with a person feeling uncomfortable with a person who makes YouTube videos or who has a social media presence. I mean, everybody can't date somebody that's popular. Like, everybody can't be with somebody who is on their way to celebrity status or was considered a celebrity at some point or will be a celebrity. I mean, because it's a different type of lifestyle. Not everybody is prepared for that, And a lot of men can't stand dating women who are in a better position than they are. It's not a lot of men out there who can, walk next to their wife or their girlfriend and their girlfriend is more well known than they are and their girlfriend has X, Y, and Z. Some men just can't handle that. And that's why I always give men the opportunity when they first start dating me to choose. And so this guy comes into my comment section, and this is like the 50th time I've heard this since I've broken up with Priest. They say shit to me like, why were you dating down anyway? This man had you sleeping in an extended stay hotel, and before that, you guys were sleeping in the back of a Ford Explorer. So if he couldn't even provide you with a roof over your head, why would you be with a man who could do that? You have, you're worth more. Even if you're down on your luck, your man is supposed to step in because he's a man, right? Now, mind you, I'm the type of woman, I feel that way. I feel, but let me be specific. I feel and think that if you're in a relationship with somebody and that person sees you down and out, they aren't supposed to walk away from you while you're like that. They are supposed to work harder to protect and provide for you. Okay? But that person has to have enough sense to do that. Because see, when you know better, you do better. That's why a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. Because they don't know any better. But then when they figure it out, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I made that mistake. Now, I was not expecting for Priest to take care of me forever. To me, it was always a 50-50 thing. I could provide just as much as he could. I could put in money just as much as he could. But when I got sick, it was like, okay, I need for him to step in and be a provider. Especially with me being pregnant. Now, this brings me to comparing blue-collar men versus white-collar men. Or men who are highly educated versus priests, like men who don't even have a GED or high school diploma. It is a difference. I don't want people to misunderstand. It is very much a difference in behavior. There's plenty of times I've been looking at priests like I can tell that you didn't finish high school. And I could tell that you didn't go to college because you don't think thoroughly, you don't think critically, you don't think first, and you move impulsively. When you are an educated man, or you are the type of man that isn't financially stable, there's a reason why you're like that. You know what I mean? And if this is something you've been for many, 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 many years, there's a reason for that. When Priest was young, he was diagnosed with dyslexia. So I'm not going to sit here and make fun of him or say he's dumb, or, like a lot of people are saying, why would you be with this dumbass nigga? He couldn't even get his GED, or blah, blah, blah. I'm the type of person that if I get inside a relationship with somebody, I'm improving my own life every day. So the person that I get in a relationship with, they are also going to be trying to improve their lives to make themselves better. And I will help them try to become a better person. Now, to me, a blue collar man can still be an educated man. He just has a blue collar job. And there's blue collar jobs out there where men who are doing them are making a lot of money. Priest wasn't that guy, but he was happy with what he was doing. So to me, it's like, okay, he's happy making his little $400 a week. Okay. I'm going to be the type of woman, I'm always going to have different sources of income. And where I stand is not going to be where I'm always standing. It just happens to be where I am at the moment. So eventually I'm going to be back to making 6 figures plus. Okay. I knew this. I always told him this. Always said, I'm always going to make money. As long as I'm healthy and both my legs work and I can do Soncerae, I'm always going to be wealthy. I'm always going to be working towards getting wealth. I always told him this. It's not my fault that he thought when I got sick that I was going to be sick forever and that I would never get to a point where I'm successful. He didn't have enough sense to see my track record. See, anybody can look at my past and see how successful I've been in the past and see that, okay, she's done this before, so I'm pretty sure she can knock this out again, especially if, that's where her head is. I can see if my head was on some other shit, like being in the club, or I was on drugs, or, something crazy, but my mind is always on bettering myself, producing income, living stable. And these are always things that I brought inside of the relationship with me. These are always things that I spoke about inside of my relationship. And when I say it's time for me to improve, or I say I have money, I always brought that money to the table. It's never a time where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then it never happened. But I think Priest didn't have enough sense to sit down and realize certain things ain't going to happen overnight. Like, I'm not going to say on Tuesday, you know what? I'm going to be a millionaire. And then by the time Friday come, I got millionaire status. See, he wants that type of speed in regards to that. But he doesn't think realistically. That's why I never like people who invested their money in the lottery. I hated that Priest did that. Because to me, that's poor mentality. Because honestly, if you really want to be a millionaire, you don't really have to buy a lottery ticket. What you can do is do the proper steps that it takes to becoming a millionaire. There's a way to do it. And it may not happen overnight. But guess how long you're going to have to play the lottery before you actually win it? Some people play that shit their whole life and never win it. But if you do the proper steps towards becoming a millionaire, you're guaranteed that shit. You're not guaranteed being a millionaire playing the lottery. So I'm trying to explain this to this nigga, but he doesn't have the critical thinking skills to even accept what I'm saying. I tried to teach this man about investments. I tried to teach this man about Bitcoins. He didn't even want to sit through it and take the time to learn it because he's lazy. Everything about him is lazy. And that's the problem with dating someone who may be uneducated and broke. Because when it comes time to handle business and finances, and you got to actually put in the footwork to actually get this shit done, they're too lazy to do it because they want a handout. Now, I always thought that Priest was like this hardworking man because, you know, he had a blue collar job. He seemed like, you know, because he was physically putting in work, I automatically assumed he was a hard worker. But there are two different types of ways to work hard. White collar men work hard with their minds. Blue collar men work hard with their bodies. And sometimes I've noticed with majority of men who are physically strong, they aren't necessarily the sharpest knife in the damn drawer. Now, when I met Priest, I knew I liked him. I knew he had potential to be better, and he seemed like he had at least an independent mind. He may not have had a college degree like I have. He may have never made as much money as I have. He hasn't accomplished even half of the shit I've accomplished. So people are like, why would you date down? It's because I didn't need for him to be accomplished and successful in order for me to feel secure, because I myself am accomplished and successful. And even if I have a down moment, I'm going to do whatever I can to work towards who I need to be and improve all of the time. That's how I live. That's my mantra. So I didn't need him to be wealthy or like some type of celebrity or athlete. I've dated celebrities. I've dated men who have generated way more money than me. And they still, to some degree, have gotten on my fucking nerves. Because most men who are financially stable, they're promiscuous and arrogant, egotistical, conceited, smug. Because they think they're all that because they have X, Y, and Z. See, men, you deal with this sometimes when you date Miss Independent. Let's say you're dating Miss Independent who happens to be financially stable. She got a good job, or maybe she has her own business or whatever the case may be. But she got a nasty ass attitude because she thinks she all that because she have all that stuff. Me, I'm not that woman. I'm still down to earth once I have all my stuff. Half the time, like, put it like this. When I was a millionaire, right? Majority of people didn't even know. You know why? Because I didn't walk around in have a luxury car. I wasn't walking around with expensive ass handbags and shoes, because that's not how I rock. I use my money for experiences. I'm not a materialistic person. I'm not going to be the type of person that's going to spend ridiculous amounts of money on cars, on shit I don't need. So no one even knew that. And when they did know that, I'm giving them money. And that's the biggest downfall I had when I had money, was that I felt comfortable enough with being so generous to give people money like it was nothing. Everybody got paid around me. And to me, that wasn't smart. That was a mistake. There's a difference between looking rich and actually being rich. There's a difference between hood rich versus being wealthy. To me, Priest has the mindset of someone who wants to be hood rich. I told you guys before, if you listen to my videos, he had got some money from his wife for selling their house, right? Instead of him using his money to invest in some shit that actually matter, he spent that shit on clothes, true religion, shoes, a trip to the Dominican Republic, prostitutes, liquor, partying. When he should have invested a piece of that money into something else, he would have been a millionaire. Listen, he got a settlement earlier this year. If he would have started investing that shit, then when he got it, and then start investing that shit in the Bitcoins and all types of shit like this, in the next 2-3 years, he would have been a millionaire. But he wasn't even smart enough to do that. He wasn't thinking critically. So as I'm dating him, right, I'm thinking, okay, at least he's teachable. I can teach him this thing. And he was doing pretty well. It wasn't until I got pregnant that he decided to give up, that he no longer wanted to improve his life. And then that's when more than one problem came inside of our relationship. Of course, he doesn't have enough critical skills to think about rumors, right? Because any person, put it like this, you in a relationship, right? Or if you are, I don't know, if you're friends with someone, if you are a critical thinker, it's easy for you to hear a rumor about somebody and think about it and be like, this can't be right. Because usually people's behaviors match their, words. And if you know a person and you hear something about them, it's easy for you to be like, this can't be right because she would never do blah, blah, blah. I know her. Only a person who uses their head will know that. Like if you've been around a person long enough, oh, that's not true. Like say, for instance, you and your friend live in, I don't know, Michigan. There's this rumor that your friend lives in Wisconsin. You see your friend every day in motherfucking Michigan, right? So you know damn well that the rumor that your friend lives in Wisconsin is a lie. But in order for you to realize that, even as common sense as it may seem, as common as it may seem, some people still don't think that way. Common sense is not so common. And that's one thing I learned inside of my relationship. Now back to this comment somebody left. He said, Black women always dating down. You should have dated somebody who could take care of you. Not once did I think that I would get sick and Priest would dip out and leave me that way. I mean, he could at least waited till I got healthy. Because if he had any sense, instead of jumping from bitch to bitch to bitch, getting phone numbers and shit like that, researching those hoes, he should have been researching pregnancy. His girlfriend sitting there pregnant. If you're a man and you research pregnancy, you will see that the first trimester of pregnancy is one of the worst trimesters of pregnancy that women go through because we're sick. I'm telling him I'm pregnant. He knows I'm pregnant. He sees me sick. And I guess he believes I'm just going to be sick from then on. So he dips out. Now that's the one thing right there. That's a problem right there. He wasn't intellectually strong enough to think this through. Because it's still, at the end of the day, a child still coming into play. You know what I mean? Like it's different. Like if I was just some girl he was fucking and we didn't have a baby together, or I wasn't pregnant and I was just some girl he was just fucking and we was just staying in a hotel together and he up and left. Okay. It's like, all right, it doesn't make it that bad. It's like, okay, they just broke up. That's fair. Regardless of why they broke up, he heard rumors about her, they broke up. Oh well, right? But I'm pregnant. So that means a piece of him is in me. His own blood. His own flesh and blood. Right? The first thing he should have been thinking is, okay, maybe I need to kick into gear and try to figure out how to get her stable while she's sick. Because I'm not 100% Soncerae when I'm sick. No person is 100% them while they sick. No person. When they sick, man down. Okay? He was supposed to kick into gear and he didn't. A educated, financially stable man would have kicked into gear. A lot of the reasons why he didn't kick into gear is because he was insecure in himself. He didn't think he could do it. That's why it was easier to walk away. It's easy to walk away from your responsibility. It's easy for you to walk away from doing the right thing when you don't have the intellect or the finances to carry the situation. I remember something Crystal Curzon said when she was talking about me all negative and shit. She was saying some shit along the lines of, I shouldn't give relationship advice because I trusted these men to lead me, a man to lead me. And he had me, he left me in an extended stay hotel, had me sleeping in the back of an Explorer, and he leaves me to go back with his wife, right? She said this. She said, I'm a moron. I'm this and I'm that, right? And it's funny because her oldest child, that man left her like that, somewhat. Okay, she was put in the same situation. She had a baby by somebody who was black and a player. So you think she would have a little bit of sympathy because she'd been through it. You know, she was that person because her eldest daughter is not with the husband that she's with now. Her white husband that's financially stable and takes care of her and shit like that. Her first child was not with him. Her first child was with a black man. So for her to be calling me a moron and such and such and such because I stuck to a man who I felt like might have been uneducated or wasn't financially stable. You know, I stuck to him for reasons that didn't have anything to do with that. But see, when she said this to me, I felt like she was so hypocritical. And you guys know me, I don't like people who down talk other people when they themselves have done this. I don't like shit like that. I'm the type of person, if I see another person doing some shit or going through some shit, I'm going to say, I did this as well. I understand where you're coming from. I get it. Next time, this is what you should do. I did this, so I'm going to tell you what I did to get out of this. I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to say you're a moron. I'm not going to, drag your ass. I'm just going to say, I get it because I made that mistake too. Now, the question is, did I make a mistake dating someone who was uneducated and broke? From an economic standpoint, I knew what I was stepping foot in. But not once was I ever prepared to think that even with the little bit of money this man made, even with the little bit that I asked him to do, he wasn't going to do it. I always thought he loved me enough to kick into gear. When we first got in the position to where we was sleeping in the back of the truck, he was looking for other side jobs to help generate some more money. That's what he was doing at first. The problem is he started giving up on the situation because he didn't have enough confidence in his fucking self. It had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with YouTube. It had nothing to do with none of that. He did not have enough confidence in himself. So to me, a man could be broke. A man could be unemployed. But if he doesn't believe in his goddamn self, if he doesn't believe in himself, there is nothing that you can do about that. And that's not somebody you need to be with, period. Because it ain't about whether he a blue collar man, a white collar man, whether he has money, whether he doesn't have money. If he doesn't have self-confidence and have enough sense to think for him fucking self, he's doomed. He's the wrong person to be with. Because honestly, there's nothing wrong with dating someone who makes less money than you if you're a woman. It's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a man not having a college degree, even if you had one. Because when you're dating someone, they're an individual anyway. So it's going to be things that they have or things that they went through or things that they do that you don't do. Y'all two different people. But the question is, can you accept what each other does? One thing Priest couldn't accept was the fact that I did YouTube videos. And he definitely couldn't accept that shit before. Now he can accept it. He used to say shit like, I'm not a YouTube dude. I can't get onto YouTube. I used to be like, why don't you and I, since you into Egyptology, since you into certain things, you into Black consciousness, you like, spirituality and stuff. Why don't we get on YouTube and we talk about that stuff? Nah, I'm not the YouTube type of guy. I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. But then the second we break up, now he the YouTube dude. I heard he uploaded a video about me last night. He the YouTube dude now. You see what I'm saying? When I asked him to do something positive or something that was productive or something, that requires him to critically think, because you got to think before you get on YouTube. You can't just say whatever. You got to think, doing a channel and dedicating it to spirituality and Black consciousness and teaching other people. That shit takes skill. He couldn't do that. But he could definitely get on YouTube and do the ignorant shit he's been doing. Correct? He could get onto YouTube and talk negatively about a woman he impregnated. And try to blame her for getting her pregnant. I didn't steal this nigga's sperm. I didn't see this nigga's sperm sitting in a cup on the table or in his fucking wallet and stole it and was like, you know what? I'm going to go somewhere and get pregnant. No. This nigga was actively giving me his sperm every chance he got so I could get pregnant. Like it was nothing. But it's so many people that's uneducated that are listening to that shit and they believe it. Because they aren't critical thinkers. And that's how rumors start. That's how all the negative videos I had on, came on YouTube to begin with, because it's just ignorant people out there. It's just ignorant people out there. So I suggest everyone stick to their standards and expectations, because my standards and expectations were much higher for many, many years. And that's why I stayed single for so long. I turned down so many men, it's not even funny. When I tell you I've turned down hundreds of thousands of men, and it wasn't because they were blue collar or white collar. It wasn't because they had money or they didn't have money. It was because I didn't like the way that they treated me. Number one. Or number two, they didn't have enough self-confidence and they wasn't secure in themselves as men. And when I realized that Priest was insecure, when I realized he did not have any confidence in himself and did not want to improve who he was, and what was more concerned about rumors about me on YouTube and collecting pussy, I said, this nigga has not figured out life yet. This nigga does not get it yet. It's sad because he's 37 and don't get it. Because it's different if you 27 and you don't get it. But when you 37 and you don't get it, ooh, that's a major setback. Because we ain't got time. At any moment now, any of us over 30, something could happen to us. We could have a heart attack. We could have diabetes. Anything could happen. Because once you over 30, that's when life starts slowing down. I don't have time to be playing these games with these men. But only an uneducated broke man would turn his back on his own baby, his own flesh and blood, because he's letting something as minuscule as YouTube rumors stop him from taking care of his child. Only an educated man or a man who has some sense would know better. And that's what I somewhat regret. So when he decided he didn't want the baby anymore, I said, you know what? You are the fucking village idiot. But let me do you a favor. Because I chose you. I chose to be with the village idiot. So that's partially my fault. So how about this? How about you sign your parental rights away and I'll take care of our child alone? Because it seems like only one of us got some common sense in this. Only one of us is thinking positively. Only one of us has self-esteem and confidence, and that's me. So why don't I just be the primary parent in this? You can go ahead and sign your rights away and never come back again. We don't have to see you. We don't have to deal with you and your issues because clearly you are not prepared for life. It ain't about whether you a blue collar worker or a motherfucker, whether you're financially stable. You're simply not even mentally prepared for life. It's a difference between being college educated and mentally prepared for life. Because you don't get it. A baby is way more important than a YouTube rumor. That's life. That is a child. That is a human being that you got to take care of. And if you letting pettiness, immaturity, childishness, all this stuff interfere with that, the problem is you, not YouTube, not the rumors on YouTube. It's a choice. You can choose to let some other shit fuck up your life. Or you can choose to stay focused on the path and get shit done. As a man, if you're a man and you're in a relationship with a woman and you don't like something that she's doing and you don't want to be with her anymore, you can say that to her. Because most women, like me, you can say that to me and I just be like, okay. I'm not going to beg a nigga to stay somewhere, you know? But when a baby comes into the picture, all that other shit becomes minuscule and irrelevant. I'm not telling no man that you should stay inside of a relationship that you unhappy in simply because y'all having a baby. That's not going to work either. But be a man about your shit. Be a man about your shit and make sure that the woman that you're dating, if she's pregnant, make sure she's in a stable environment with your child before you decide to dip off and be with other women. Because your child needs security. Your child needs stability. And the only type of men who walk away from women more than any other man on this planet, while these women are trying to become stable or be better, are black men. Black uneducated men who are broke and financially broken. And if you are educated and financially broken, as a man, I'm sure that has to get to you to some degree. At some point, your manhood has to feel a little damaged. So I get why some men walk away because they feel inadequate. I get that. But then that's your opportunity to step your motherfucking game up. That's your opportunity right there. That's your chance right there to step up. And if you choose the latter, that's something you got to live with for the rest of your life. And you can sit here, you can blame the woman. You could pretend like she trapped you or tricked you. You could pretend that she did all these ugly things wrong inside of a relationship, including having a YouTube channel and having rumors made up about her. But at the end of the day, when you look yourself in the mirror, you know that shit don't have nothing to do with the choice you made. You felt inadequate as a man because you are not even gainfully employed, not even financially stable, and you was in no position to stabilize your living situation, even by yourself. The immaturity in connection to priests is what was disgusting. His inability to not critically think is what was disturbing. It wasn't that he had a blue collar job, and it wasn't even that he only made $400 a week. It was when it came time for him to stand strong mentally and to be there for me and his child, he chose what a 17-year-old would have chose. Just like earlier this year when he got the settlement and he made a poor choice and now he's sitting here broke. His choice was, let me spend it on money. Let me spend my money on clothes, true religion, trips, prostitutes, instead of investing it. That's what happens when you are not mentally prepared for life. Because there's plenty of men out there who did not graduate from college, who are entrepreneurs and business owners, killing it, financially stable. You have to be mentally prepared for life. Has nothing to do with whether you're a blue collar worker or not. Did I date down? Yes. Because people kept saying, Soncerae, you need to get out your own way. You need to give a man a chance. Give men a clean slate. Don't have your preconceived notions and assumptions about who they are. So I gave a man a shot. So when he came to me and he said where he stood in life, I listened to him. I believed him. I was open-minded. I understood. But did he give me that same in return? No. And I say this to women. This is why you can't bend over backwards for somebody or give them the benefit of the doubt or vouch for them. Because when it comes time for them to do that shit for you, they can't. You know how open-minded I had to be in order to stick in that situation? I'm with an uneducated, broke man who is separated. He got dreads in the back, no dreads on top. He bald at the top. He is suffering in the penis department. He can barely eat certain foods because of his diet, because his GERD. And if he eats anything wrong, he smells a certain way. That's horrible, right? And I got to deal with so many things. Countless things with this man. Every week is something different. Every week is something different I have to deal with. And I sat there open-minded, no matter how complicated he was. I tell people all the time, he's like Gizmo. He come with instructions. Most women would not even be able to deal with his bullshit. But I factored it in as I love this man. This is who he is. I knew what I was walking into. And I'm going to stick to this because I love him. He has all of these other things that I love so much, that these things are minuscule in comparison to the things that I love about him. But this nigga did not give me that same understanding, that same, open-mindedness. The very thing that he's asking people to have for him, he did not have that. And that's the problem with relationships. Men, you want women to accept all of these ugly, cruel things about you. But if a woman has one flaw, if she does to you half of the shit you do to her, you don't want to be with her anymore. That's a man who's not mentally prepared for life. That's not a man who is realistic about life. He still thinks life's a game. That's what his downfall is. So back to this. Did I date down? Yes. But it's not a habit I've always had. And it's not something I'll ever do again. I tried it. I'm not fucking with it. I was single 10 years before I started dating Priest. I was polyamorous 10 years before I started dating Priest. I gave Priest the opportunity to be polyamorous. He did not choose that. He wanted monogamy and still ended up cheating on me. The whole purpose of being polyamorous is so a man could come to me and say, you know what? I want to see this woman or have sex with this woman. And he could tell me that and we'll still be okay because I respected him for the truth. That is a better choice than you being inside of a monogamous relationship and lying to the woman that you're in a relationship with. But his ass wasn't even smart enough to take advantage of the opportunity that was presented in front of him. because he's not living realistically. So that was my problem with dating someone that, didn't have critical thinking skills. I mean, because it's a number of stupid shit he did on a day-to-day basis that I'll just be like, you do realize that this is a better way for you to do this than that. I mean, he's just like the type of person that does just stupid shit. That doesn't make him a bad person. But some of the things that he did on top of that made him a bad person. We all make mistakes. That don't make us a bad person. But when you add cruel, vile shit that you do on top of that stuff, you just become fucked all around. You know what I'm saying? Even now, right? Even now. The person that came to me and said, hey, Priest uploaded a video about you last night. It was like, I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed because the more that he posts shit, the more he seems immature. You will never be able to justify to an uneducated person. You would never be able to justify to an educated person why you would leave a pregnant, sick woman on bed rest, someone you claimed you loved, someone who was your friend, someone you claimed you was their friend. You will never be able to justify why you did this shit in the eyes of someone educated. That type of behavior is never acceptable for man. You're a man. The first thing you're supposed to do is step up. And you probably wouldn't even have had to step up for a long time because as you can see in my most recent videos, I'm starting to look better, feel better, everything. I have money. I have a stable place to stay. I'm driving. And all I needed you to do as my man, as even just not even being my man, let's just say you was my friend. All you had to do was hold on. Stand up like a man on your own 2 feet for 2 minutes until we got stable enough first. It's all about prioritizing. Prioritizing. What's more important to you? Your flesh and blood, your baby, or fucking hoes? What's more important to you? Having a roof over your head or fucking hoes? It's that simple. And if you choose fucking hoes over getting a stable roof over your head, if you choose fucking hoes over your own kids or your own baby that's on the way, you are not mentally prepared for life. Something is definitely mentally disturbed about you. Because those are always things that you're supposed to choose first. And if you continue to make those poor choices in life that you've been making all of this time, you 37. You 37. The one thing that I've learned about all of the stuff that I've gone through is that the best thing that I could do for myself after I made a poor choice or a poor decision is to do better next time. This is not even what this nigga is even thinking. It's just fuck up after fuck up after fuck up after fuck up after fuck up. Just digging his ass deeper into the ground. And he actually thought I was going to sit there and wait. This is what he thought, y'all. A dude that's mentally not prepared for life thought I was going to sit there. He kept saying, you ain't going to go nowhere. You going to wait for me. I find you. You going to take me back. No, nigga. Because once you showed me that fucking hoes was on the top of your priority list, but not being financially stable or in a decent home or taking care of your blood, your baby was on top of your list, That's not somebody I can improve my motherfucking life with. Whether we have a friendship or not, whether we are simply just co-parenting or not. It's too many poor choices were made this year by priests. Too many poor choices was made by Luther Washington, aka priest, for me to stay my ass in Atlanta and subject my son to that shit. Fuck all that. I'd rather be in California improving my own life so my son can have a stable fucking environment. Not grow up to be mentally unprepared for life like his father. Now, I made this choice. I really thought Priest had potential to be a better man. But so far, since he found out I was pregnant, that has gone down the drain. And he found out I was pregnant, September? It's been 4 months. It's been 4 months of irresponsible, poor decisions by this man. Because see, before that, he was on track, but he lost control mentally. That's what dating down did to me. And trust me, it'll never happen again because I'm not dating at all. For what? All that's going to happen if I start dating again is I'm going to get blamed for the poor choices that the men make, because that's usually how it always happens. Men do not take accountability and responsibility for their actions. They blame the women for why they did this. But they want women to treat them like kings, like they think for themselves. If you think for yourself, when something bad happens, you take responsibility for it. But if you don't think for yourself, you'll try to blame a woman for it. And clearly, if it's a woman's fault, you wasn't thinking for yourself. You was her puppet the entire time. You was doing what she wanted to do the entire time. And if that's your narrative, and that's what you want to tell people, so you can feel better about what the public thinks about you, then cool. You do that. But when you look in the mirror every day and it's just you, God, you know the truth. And it got to make you feel miserable. Question your manhood. Question your manhood. All right? Question your manhood. If you decided to walk away from a woman who is pregnant and leave her fending for herself by herself, especially if this woman was good to you, kind to you, understanding, she listened to you. If this woman was a good woman to you, right? Was your friend, was there for you, loved you, cared for you, held you down, and you walked away from her while she was sick, or you walked away from her while she was pregnant. Question your manhood. You need to really, really take a long look at yourself in the mirror and try to figure out what would possess you to do something so disturbing and so ugly. And add that on top of the fact that why were your priorities that much out of order? Think about that. Why were your priorities that out of order? And no matter how many times this woman told you to get your priorities together, all you could think about is fucking hoes. And YouTube. And rumors. And gossip. And irrelevant shit. Meanwhile, she focusing on improving her life and your ass sitting there thinking about some shit a 17-year-old would think of. You are 37. Anybody over 30? Any man over 30? Think about your priorities. If fucking multiple women is on the top of that list, you fucked in the game, dude. The first thing you need to be thinking about is getting money. If you not think about getting money and stabilizing yourself in business and shit like that, and you over 30, something is wrong with you. Like, you really need to rethink life. Because I know for me, that's all I was thinking about. I'm in a relationship with somebody. All I'm trying to figure out is, hey, shit, what we going to do for money? Let's get this money. Let's get this business together. Let's get this stability together. That's all I was thinking about my entire relationship. What are we going to build together? What's going to come out of this? From the very beginning of my relationship with Priest, all I talked about was building with this man every chance I got. That was the majority of our conversations. So we're going to build a family? All right. So what kind of businesses are we going to build? What kind of money we going to get? What we going to do? What's the plan? That's all I spoke about. So if you're a man and you over 30 and you don't have a woman that's speaking about that shit, get rid of her. If you're a man and you over 30 and the top of your priority list is fucking hoes, you doomed, dude. You doomed. Money over bitches, niggas. Stick to the script. That's all I'm saying. I appreciate y'all listening. Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.